Hi folks, Dave with dbstechtalk, and today we're going to do a review of the Lake People RS-08 balanced amplifier. I want to thank the Discord friend and subscriber of the channel who sent this in for a review. Do greatly appreciate it, and this is going to be a brief overview review of the RS-08. This is a very unique and challenging amplifier for me to review, so I'm going to put a bunch of links down below for you all to be able to research on your own and read all the specs, because they're way beyond anything that I could explain in a way that would make sense. So this is kind of more of a journey of what I experienced using the RS-08. Alright, so first and foremost, it comes in this very unique box, and I'm not sure if this is the stock power cable or not, but I must say this is by far the most beefy power cord that I've ever gotten. I mean, this thing is, look at that, huge. I do like the look of it. It's kind of cool. You can see through it. And it's kind of stiff. It's a little thick and heavy, but it's not bad. Set that to the side. Then you get this very interesting box, and you undo the lid here, and you open it up, and voila, you get some paperwork. Now this paperwork's really important. It does have a ton of information in it, so make sure that you read through it quite well. Here on the back pages, it does have some technical information. Try to get that on camera here so you can read all about that and how much power it has. And then there sits your amplifier. Let's take this, set that to the side. So the amp itself is actually quite small. It's about two hands widths apart. You get these nice feet on the bottom, rubberized. And there's the back side of it. Volume knob makes a really nice noise. You got your left and right outputs, or your dual quarters out, your XLR 4-pin out, your power button, and of course that beautiful volume knob that just rotates. On the back side here you have your power in, you have your gains switches, and then your outputs and inputs. Don't ask me why they put white on top for the outputs and red on the bottom for inputs instead of doing right as red and white as left, but make sure that you line it up correctly, right and left. It says it right there. It's just an odd setup for it. Overall though, it's not really that heavy of an amplifier. It is kind of a fingerprint magnet, and it looks nice. And then of course you can hook up this beefy power cord with it, and there you go. The amplifier doesn't take up much space. It's got a very small footprint, which I really like. It's very simple, not a whole lot of lights. When it is plugged in, you just get a little green LED right there, and that's it. So how does the amplifier sound? Now this is kind of the important feature when it comes to an amp. And when I first got it, the first thing I noticed was it's very clean. It's a very clean and clear sounding amplifier, and it has a ton of power. Didn't have any problems with it powering anything or anything that I own. Not really good for IEMs, tended to be a little too much output impedance, lots of hiss, and just kind of struggled in that regard. Had to use an IE match with it. So if you are getting this just to power IEMs, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you have some really hard to drive headphone, something dynamics like 600 ohms, like a Barodynamic DT880 600 ohm, or a Sennheiser HD 600 300 ohms, something along those lines. This will power it with ease. Also powers planars really well. And so I was looking for some DACs to plug it into, and on my desk I have a Mytek Liberty and also a Geshelli Enog 2 Pro and a Grace Design S-DAC Balanced. And I found that the Mytek was the best match for the RS-08. It just has a very natural, clean, clear sound. Everything just sounds very wide and open, and has really good timbre and tonality with it. When I put it on the Enog, it didn't sound bad, it just sounded a little bit muffled. Had more thickness in the bass and more, but it was also more energetic in the treble, but the mids had this weird muffled sound to them, and also the bass got a little bloated. And so it was just kind of an odd match for it. It just didn't seem to really play very well. And then when I put it on the Grace Design S-DAC, the S-DAC Balanced really did a nice job with the RS-08 of sounding open and clean and clear. It didn't sound quite as natural as the Mytek, but it did have a very nice fullness to it, and it was also a very nice match. So if you have a Grace Design S-DAC Balanced or a Mytek Liberty and you're looking for a really powerful amplifier to match it up with, the RS-08 would be a good option. How does it compare to other amplifiers? The only other amplifier that I have that has really big time power is the THX AAA 789. And the difference between the two is that the 789 is a little more sterile. It's just a smidge. It's not really that much of a difference, but it's just enough to come across as just being a little bit more clinical sounding. And I tended to lean towards the 789 just a little bit more. It just seemed to have a little bit more clarity and resolution than the RS-08, but it was very minimal when paired with the Mytek. Now if you put another DAC in with it, like a Grace Design S-DAC Balanced and the TH9 or the THX 789, they kind of balanced out and were very hard to tell the difference. But the Mytek Liberty was where the difference really showed between the RS-08 and the 789, with the 789 besting it. Putting it with the Geshelli Arish, the Arish has a very clean sound also, and that was a very hard pick when it came between the Mytek being the DAC and the Geshelli Arish and the RS-08. They were very close. But the 789 again just was the overall winner of the lot. But if you're looking for a really powerful amplifier and has clean, clear sound, very dynamic sound, plenty of power, especially with those dip switches there on the back, and can power pretty much anything, the Lake People RS-08, this thing is a beast, and I recommend it. It's a lovely, lovely amplifier, but my choice is the 789 when it comes to these two. But I could live with this, and I do greatly appreciate the gentleman that sent it over for a review, and I've had a lot of fun with it, and now it's time to send it back to him so he can love it himself. It's been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, on the screen is going to be a subscription link, notification bell, and also a whole bunch of information regarding how you can contact me, support the channel, and all kinds of other gear listed. Thanks, and have yourself a good day.